Hello everybody, Sir Beaton here and welcome back to another past paper practice video. In this video I will be tackling some consumer arithmetic multiple choice type questions. So let's get straight into the first one. So this question says, if the simple interest on $800 for 3 years is $54, what is the rate of interest per annum? So we know simple interest, the formula to find simple interest is simply PRT over 100, in which P is the principal, which is the money invested, R is the rate, and T is the time, and we know simple interest would be the extra money. So let's put in all that we know. So we know simple interest on $800 for 3 years is $54, so we know simple interest would be 54. We know the principal, the money invested, would be 800 multiplied by the rate, that's what we want to find, multiplied by the time, which is 3 years, all divided by 100. So we can do this 0 go with that 0, this 0 go with that 0. 8 times 3 is 24, so it's 24 multiplied by R, which is 24. R is equal to 54. So R would be equal to 54 divided by 24. So R would be equal to 24 can go into 54 2 times. So 24 times 24 is 48. We'll have a remainder of 6 over 24. And this will break down to 6 into 24 would be 4. So the rate would be equal to 2 and 1 over 4 percentage, which is simply B. So the next question says, if 7,000 is borrowed at a rate of 5% per annum for 3 years, the simple interest is, so we know the simple interest formula is PRT over 100. In this case, we want to find the simple interest. So the simple interest would be the principal, which is the money borrowed or invested, which is 7,000 in this case, multiplied by the rate, which is 5% per annum, multiplied by the time, which is in years, which is 3 years, all divided by 100. All right, so this 0 go with that 0, this 0 go with that 0. 7 times 5 is 35. So 350, we add in the 0, 350 times 3 would be 350 multiplied by 3. This would be 3 into 0 is 0, 3 into 5 is 15. So we put that 5 here, and 3 into 3, 9, and 1, 10. So the simple interest here would be $1,050. That is the extra money that they will pay back after they borrow 7,000 at 5% per annum for 3 years. So the answer is D. Next one says, the simple interest on 600 for 4 years at 5% per annum is, so we know the simple interest formula is PRT over 100. So in this case, the P would be 600 multiplied by the R, which is the rate, so it's 5, multiplied by the years, which is 4, all divided by 100. So in this case, we want to see which one is the answer similar to this. So we see 600 times 5 times 4. So this answer here would simply be A. So it can't be this because 600 is in the denominator. And here we have that going on, and we know it has to be divided by 100. So that is the answer for this one, as easy as that, very simple. So the next one says, a store offers a discount of 10% to customers who spend more than $20. So if a customer's total bill was $80, what will he actually pay? So we see 10% is offered for customers who spend more than 20. So we got to find 10% of this $80 because $80 is obviously greater than 20. This is 10 over 100 multiplied by 80. So this 0 go with that 0, this 0 go with that 0. 1 times 8 would be 8. So this is the discounted price. So the customer will actually pay $80, subtract 8 would be 72. So the customer will actually pay $72, which is C. So the next question says, the item refers to the table below, which shows the rate charged by an insurance company. So we see house insurance, it's 25 cents per 100. Contents insurance is 50 cents per every 100. So how much will a person pay for his insurance if his house is valued at 50,000 and the contents at 10,000. So we see for this question we have to find, first of all, let's find the house insurance. So we see for the house insurance, the house is valued at 50,000. So we need to find how many hundreds we can get from the 50,000. So we can say house. So we know the house is valued at 50,000. 50,000 divided by 100. This 0 go with that 0. This 0 go with that 0. So this will be 500. So we see we can get 500s from 50,000. So we need to multiply this now by how much you charge per every 100. So it's 25 cents. So we know 25 cents is the same as 0.25. So we know if to multiply this, we just move this to the end. So we'll have 500 multiplied by 25. So we put a 0 on the 5 and multiply. 2 times 0 is 0, 2 times 0 is 0, 2 times 5 is 10. So 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 5 would be 25, and we put the whole 25 in here. So we add up 0 plus 0 is 0, 0 plus 0 is 0, 5 plus 0 is 5, 2 plus 0 is 2, and we bring down the 1. So remember to move the point out 2 times, so we got to jump it back in 2 times. So the cost for the house insurance is $125. So now let's find the cost for the contents insurance. So for contents, we see it's for every 100 again, so we know the value of it is 10,000. So it's 10,000 divided by 100. This 0 go with that 0, this 0 go with that 0. So we see it's 100 we can find in 10,000. So we need to multiply this by the rate at which they have. So it's 50 cents. So we know 50 cents would be the same as 0.50. So we turn this into a whole number. So we'll have 100 multiplied by 50, which would simply be 5,000. I remember we moved the point out 2 times. So you got to move it back in 2 times. So we jump 1, 2. So the cost for the contents insurance would be $50. So the total insurance that the person would pay would be 125 plus 50, which would be 5 and 0 is 5, 2 and 7 would be 7, 175, which is simply A. So the person will pay $175 for insurance for the house and the contents. So we have to do some calculation. So with that, this has brought me to the end of this video. And in this video, we tackled some consumer arithmetic type multiple choice questions. And as you saw, some concepts were brought out, and I want you to use these concepts to practice more questions like these. So keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care.